Hi, it's Rich from Free Paws Crafts here. Now I know it's been a little while since our last video, but that's because unfortunately we recently lost one of the paws, little Rudy. He was unfortunately killed in a manner that I'll explain in a bit. But when he was returned to us, I immediately knew what my next project would have to be, and it took much longer and was more painful than I could have expected.
Free Paw Crafts, this channel name and the business, were so named because of the 3 little chihuahuas we adopted. First was Charlie, aka Bobo, a long-haired chihuahua with an independent soul. He came from an old lady who realised she couldn't care for him anymore and wanted to give him a better life. Then soon after came Odie, a chihuahua puppy who was born at a dogs and cats charity. She's a loyal little guard dog who always loves a lot of attention. We didn't really have any plans to adopt anymore, although I had toyed with the idea of getting a larger dog who could come to work with me. But then we were contacted by someone who had rescued a small chihuahua from a pub from someone who was trying to trade him for a pint. Little Rudy. We don't know much about his previous life, but it seemed like he had been treated more as a toy dog. He had some old injuries that had not healed properly. That gave him a funny walk, but from the first time of meeting him, we could see he was full of character. We knew we couldn't turn him away. From his odd little run, the way he would play with his treats, and the way he would do little happy dances. And he did end up coming to work with me, keeping me company through the night as I travelled around. He quickly became popular with everyone he met, making friends wherever he went. And of course, anywhere I would sit, he would insist on sitting on my lap with me, as you can see in some of my previous videos. People would say we were inseparable. No matter whether my day was good or bad, little Rudy was always there wagging his tail, happy to see me and wanting a fuss. He didn't pay attention to any normal dog toys or balls, instead loving to play with random things he would find around the house, like Velcro cable ties, bottle corks, and a Spider-Man head kid's bath toy being his favourites. And he would make himself a little den under the sofa where he would scurry away to with them to play. He only seemed to learn how to go upstairs, but never down, so you would often find his head poking out around the corner of the upstairs banister, waiting for someone to bring him down. And just in general, he was an unusual little fella, but in a good way. This project meant a lot to me, so I went through a few different iterations, changing my mind a few times about the types of wood to use, the joinery techniques, and the overall design. I ended up scrapping many different versions, telling myself I could do better. And as the project kept bringing back memories, sometimes I would need to step away for a few days and work on something else. Originally I thought it would be something quick and easy I could complete in a few days. But I didn't account for the emotional side of things, with it equal parts being something I wanted to make for him, and despairing from the sudden shock of having to make it. Practically, it needed to be big enough to hold his ashes, his favourite toy, lead and harness. And despite a few attempts at different shapes, a simple box best fit the bill. I also decided to give it a chunky base and a chamfered handle, just to give it a bit of extra style, with some small decorative jewellery box hinges for the lid. I chose mango wood for the build as it largely matched the different tones of his coat, with a character oak piece for the lid as a way to show the character of his personality. So what happened? I was house sitting for my parents while they were away. looking after their fish while working on my camper van and doing some filming. Rudy, of course, was there to keep me company, while Odie and Bobble had stayed back home. And after a busy day of changing out a lot of coolant pipe work under my van, it was time for a walk. It was a route I had walked with the dogs a handful of times before, a village footpath that was quiet and had good views across the valley. All was going well, and we were both getting a good stretch of our legs, heading back near the end of the walk. And I was a few paces ahead of Rudy, with him behind me on the lead. And the first I realised something was wrong was a strange sound that I first mistook for a bird. But when I turned round to see what it was, I saw that a larger dog off its lead had snuck up on both of us and pounced on Rudy, and was in the process of shaking him back and forth in his mouth. I stepped in and got the other dog to let Rudy go, but the damage was unfortunately already done. Rudy's cries of pain will stick with me for a long time. In the distance, I heard the calls of what must have been the other dog's owners, cheerfully calling out, "Oh, don't worry, he's friendly." I rushed Rudy to the vet as fast as I could. But unfortunately, he didn't make it.
And so there we go, a mango wood box with character oak accents. I'm sorry I'm not more talented, buddy. You deserve better. I feel like I've let you down. Yes, you buddy. Bye-bye, Rudy. Bye.